Let me ask you something. Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head for hours? Not because something dramatic happened, just a normal moment. Something small. Maybe you said one sentence slightly wrong. Maybe someone replied slower than usual. Maybe you sent a message and saw "seen." And suddenly your brain goes, "Did I sound stupid? Are they mad? Did I mess this up? What if I ruined everything?" If that sounds familiar, you're probably an overthinker. And before we go any further, let me say this clearly. Overthinking doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're weak. It usually means you're intelligent, sensitive, and deeply aware of the world around you. But it also means your mind doesn't know when to stop. Overthinking usually starts innocently. You just want to understand things better. You want to make the right choice. You want to avoid mistakes. So you analyze. You replay moments. You imagine future scenarios. You think about what people might be thinking. At first, it feels productive. But then, something strange happens. Your thoughts stop helping and start looping. You think about the same thing again and again and again. No new information, no solutions, just mental noise. It's like opening 20 browser tabs in your head and none of them are loading. Here's something most people don't realize. Overthinking is not problem solving. Problem solving moves forward, overthinking goes in circles. One leads to action, the other leads to exhaustion. An overthinking mind doesn't ask, "What can I do?" It asks, "What could go wrong?" And once your brain finds one possible problem, it creates 10 more. Let's make this real. Imagine you're invited to a small gathering. A few people, nothing intense. A non-overthinker thinks, "Cool, I'll go." An overthinker thinks, "What if I say something awkward? What if I don't fit in? What should I wear? What if they secretly don't want me there? What if I get tired halfway through?" By the time the event arrives, you're already emotionally drained. Not from the party, from thinking about the party. So why does this happen? Why do some people think deeply while others seem effortlessly relaxed? A big reason is sensitivity. Overthinkers tend to feel things more strongly. They notice tone changes, facial expressions, small shifts in energy. Their nervous system is always scanning. Is everything okay? This makes them great listeners, great friends, great observers, but it also makes their brain hyper-alert. They don't just experience life, they analyze it in real time. Another huge factor is control. Overthinking is often your mind trying to protect you. If I think about every possible outcome, maybe I won't get hurt. If I replay everything, maybe I'll prevent future mistakes. If I prepare for the worst, maybe I'll survive it. It's safety disguised as stress. Your brain believes it's helping, but most of the time, it's just stealing your peace. Here's the painful part. Overthinkers usually care a lot. They care about relationships. They care about doing the right thing. They care about how their actions affect others. That's beautiful, but it also means they carry more emotional weight. They don't brush things off easily. They absorb. Let me share something personal for a moment. I used to think overthinking meant I was too much, too sensitive, too emotional, too in my head. But eventually I realized something. My overthinking wasn't the problem. My lack of boundaries with my thoughts was. I believed every thought that showed up. Now I don't. And that changed everything. Because here's a truth nobody tells you. Not every thought deserves your attention. Some thoughts are just noise. Some are old fears. Some are habits. Some are echoes from past experiences. You don't have to follow all of them. You're allowed to notice a thought and let it pass. Overthinkers also struggle with decision-making. They don't want to choose the wrong option, so they research, compare, ask others, second-guess. Even small choices become heavy. What to text, what to order, which path to take. They don't trust themselves easily. They want certainty. But life doesn't give certainty, only direction. Another common trait is overthinkers live in the future. They're rarely fully present. They're mentally preparing for conversations that haven't happened yet, arguing with imaginary people, explaining themselves in their head, rehearsing moments days in advance. Meanwhile, real life is happening quietly in the background. But here's the beautiful twist. Overthinkers also have deep creativity. They notice patterns others miss. They understand emotions on a profound level. They think in layers. They can sit alone and reflect in ways most people can't. They just need to learn how to work with their mind instead of against it. So how do you calm an overthinking brain? Not by forcing it to stop. That never works. You calm it by grounding yourself in the present. Simple things. Feel your feet on the floor. Take a slow breath. Look around the room. Remind your nervous system, I'm safe right now. You write things down instead of carrying them mentally. You move your body. You stop waiting for perfect clarity before taking small steps. And most importantly, you practice not responding to every thought. Overthinking tells you, figure everything out first. Peace says, take one step. You don't need to solve your entire life tonight. You don't need to replay every conversation. You don't need to predict every outcome. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is close the mental tabs and just exist for a moment. If you overthink, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind is powerful. It just needs guidance. And when you learn that, your sensitivity becomes strength, your awareness becomes wisdom, and your mind finally becomes a place you want to live in.